Welcome, ladies. Welcome to this week's episode and welcome to the start of a new month. And with the start of a new month, I have a new monthly circle for you. A monthly circle is where we together start at one point on our journey to living a simple life. And during the month, we work at it together and complete the circle with a roundup at the end of the month. If you are facing piles and piles of paperwork, it's all around you, and you simply do not know what to do, how to tackle this situation, well, then this video is made especially for you. If you have watched me before, you will know that I tend to look at things just a wee bit differently. And I will tell you right up front, I am not going to tell you to go out and buy this file or this box or this sticky stuff to put on the file or on the box. We're going to look at it differently because my goal is to make this a long-lasting process for you. So hit the pause button, go grab yourself a cup of tea, coffee, or something stronger, and let's look at this together with different eyes. If you don't get hold of this issue, this thing, you're going to deal with it for all your life. And if you're honest with yourself, as I have been with this particular issue, it's something that you probably have been dealing with all your life. Paperwork, it's here, it's there, it's what to do with it all. And it just accumulates. And then there are consequences for not dealing with the paperwork correctly. Namely, first thing, you have bills that you don't pay on time, and that costs you money. And it costs you money in not only paying late fees, but it also hurts your credit, and then it hurts your ability to borrow more money. It also, if you don't know where, for example, your important legal documents are, then you'll go cuckoo for coconuts trying to find them when you need the deed to your house or when you need some document to do with your car. That will cause you stress and overwhelm and a waste of time. When you have this clutter, no matter what it is, but today and this week we're talking about paperwork. You have clutter outside, and it's not easy to see anything. And as you know, my philosophy, when you've got clutter outside, you've got clutter in your head and you can't think clearly. And so my hopes and my aspirations for you are to deal with this head on. Having said that, you'll know also my philosophy, and one of the ingredients in my recipe for living a simple life is to take things slowly and then to be really appreciative of what you've done. You must, and I'm not telling you anything new, you have to really get hold of this. And I have done that, and I'm going to show you what I have done and how I have created this portion of my simple life. Here is what I want you to understand and what's something that you really need to do. And it's got nothing to do with sorting through papers. You need to create a paperwork habit, something that you do each time you come face to face with a piece of paper or with some paperwork, because I can't tell you what to do. If it doesn't come natural to you, you'll not do it. Over the years, me probably just like you, I have watched tons and tons of videos on dealing with paperwork. And you can pick up some ideas with this for sure, and it gives you some tips and suggestions. But at the crux of the whole thing is you need to create a habit on how you deal with your paperwork that comes to you with your name on it. When you figure out what feels natural for you on how you deal with paperwork and any sort of clutter, you will be creating a habit and something that you do day in and day out and day in and day out. It's sort of like you can create a habit of having your dinner and putting the dishes in the dishwasher, or in my case, washing them right away. It becomes a habit. It's really, when you boil down to it, it's like brushing your teeth. You just automatically do it. So that's what I'm going to ask you to do, to create some sort of habit on how you deal with paperwork. I will give you some suggestions as to what I do so you can see things through my eyes. But at the end of the day, ladies, I'm sorry, but it all boils down to you. You have got to tackle this. I also will say that you cannot be hard on yourself. It's really, really important. You must, as you go through this journey, to create a habit of how you deal with paperwork, you have to pat yourself on the back. Just a small thing. You have to reward yourself in knowing that you will be paying your bills on time, that you know where all the documents are. What you have to do is you have to figure out what feels good for you and what feels natural. Because if you try and do something that doesn't feel good, because it's all about feelings really, even paperwork, then you'll not stick with it and you'll just go back to your old evil ways. Let me explain to you what I do. And this is a process that I've gone through. I've sort of tweaked it along the way. And I dare say that there are other things that I'll take and add, subtract from it, from this process, from this habit that I've created. Emphasis again, this is a new habit that you're creating. And it's not going to happen overnight. But the key is just to keep doing it and to keep refining it to get to the point where it just becomes natural. Like I've said, brushing your teeth. The first thing that I have done to eliminate paperwork clutter is I have gone, in most cases, paperless with all my bank statements and the bills that come into my home. I was really, really hesitant to do this because I am of the mindset I need to see what I'm paying for. But really, that's an old mindset because when you get a bill online, you're seeing it anyway. I just recently did my income taxes so that the government in the United States can continue. I just did my income taxes and I didn't have my bank statements to sort through because I've eliminated all of that and I can actually see them online. And it's so much easier to deal with them. I can print them out if I need to really investigate something, but it's so easy to see them. At the end of the day, by going paperless, it eliminates the clutter of that is around your home, but it also saves trees. And isn't that important? When actually I receive a piece of paper or a letter, an envelope in the mail, immediately I look at it and I open it right next to my mailbox because I live in a condo and there's stacks and stacks of mailboxes. And I immediately open it and then I either keep it or discard it. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, Carolyn, you might be getting applications for credit cards, which I do, and somebody else can fill them in. In this world, here's my thoughts. In this world, there is so many ways that people can steal my identity. I just cannot think that way. I just have to deal with it immediate, get rid of it, rip it up, and throw it away. If someone wants to steal my credit, and please don't steal my credit, they're going to do it anyway, and they're not going to just go into a bag, into a garbage bag, and pull out my application, which I've ripped in half. I just don't think that's going to happen. So nothing comes into my home that doesn't have a purpose. And maybe you live in a home and there's a mailbox at the end of the driveway. Well, just before you bring it in, look at it and throw it away if it's not necessary. So that eliminates the clutter. Sometimes I know there are pieces of paper, documents that you get that you have to save. What I have learned how to do is to take a picture of it, to snap a picture of it, or to scan it and put it into a cloud. And that would be either for me a Dropbox or a Google Drive. Also, if you're getting a receipt, as I did yesterday from Miss Evie's vet, well, I opted out of the actual piece of paper. I said, could you email it to me? And in that way, I have it and I can put it in one of those clouds. Or maybe if you don't have one of those services, you could just create a file on your computer or on your inbox and save it that way. It's all about setting up a system and creating a habit on how to deal with paperwork. If something does come into my home and I have to deal with this piece of paper, well, I can put it in the cloud, but also I can have specific places for those those items, for those paperwork. Again, for me, I have a metal filing cabinet, and everything that's really, all legal documents go into that filing cabinet. If it's a paper bill, and I only have one that I deal with because I'm breaking away from the habit here, but I have one bill that comes in, and I just take it and I put it into my diary. I clip it into my written diary, and I know when I have to pay that. Alternatively, what you could do is you could just set an alarm, an alert on your phone, and then know you have to pay that bill. Just put it in one place where you know all your bills are, and then that eases that stress. When you create your own unique habit of dealing with paperwork, I will stress again, you must be very, very kind to yourself and pat yourself on the back when you put a process in place. And if you have to change it, that is perfectly fine. And do it slowly. That's really, really key. And be happy that you're doing it along the way. This very nicely leads us into the next part of the monthly circle, and that really is recognizing your accomplishments. And if you have watched this series last month, and I'll put the link below so that you can see the start of the series, and what we are doing is we are looking at our accomplishments, and we are looking back at our past accomplishments, because those past accomplishments made us who we are, and we've learned so much from them. So I'm not one to dwell on the past, but in terms of accomplishments, I think it's very, very important that we realize all that we are capable of. I leave you this month of May, the beginning of May, with a quote from Dr. Wayne Dyer, who sadly is no longer with us. Dr. Dyer says, healthy habits are learned in the same way as unhealthy ones, through practice. So practice this new habit. You can do it. I know you can. If I have done it, you can do it. Just take it slowly. Do what feels natural for you and what feels good. I will be back at the end of the month as a roundup to encourage you and to motivate you, to inspire you to change this little thing that will make a massive change, a massive difference in your life. Until my next video, I wish you a good day. Stay well, stay safe. Prayers for Ukraine. Toodles, everyone.